Beez here from the WhatCulture Rock Show. I'm here with Lzzy and Joe from Halestorm.
Yeah.
First and foremost, belated happy birthday, Lzzy.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes.
10-10. Woo.
So-
Birthday week.
Birthday week.
Well, that's what they keep saying. I thought I was only going to be able to get away with just one day,
Oh, yeah?
and they're not going to let me get out of
Nope.
that easy.
So, first and foremost, what did you do for your birthday?
I did a lot of nothing, actually. I woke up, and I had a very delicious cookie that somebody gave me, and with my coffee, and then we walked around. We had spent the day in Lake Tahoe.
Is this a California cookie?
It was yes.
That was a very ominous way of saying
It was a very
cookie.
yes, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So yeah, I had a great day. Then we all went out to eat, and yeah,
We had a
pretty
nice
chill.
band crew dinner.
Yeah.
We had a
Yeah,
day
it's
off,
just-
so it was
this is-
just nice
yeah.
and mellow.
So, are you a more excessive band when you're out and about on the road?
I'd like to think so. I mean, I always encourage people to say hi because there are, some people that are.
No,
you know,
excessive. Right?
Oh,
Is that what you said? Excessive.
Oh, I thought you meant
She's
accessible.
very accessible.
Yes.
You're very conversational.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm delightful. No, I don't know. Maybe not so much as we were when we were kids, but we still. I mean, the sense of humor and the things that sometimes we got like even last night, like we were like kind of walking through the woods to wherever we were trying to go eat, because we never picked the right path.
Right.
And there's all these huge pine cones, and then all of a sudden it becomes like almost this snowball fight, but with pine cones.
Wow.
Just kind of broke out between us and our crew, and so
We're totally excessive.
that was the most excessive that we got last night, I guess.
But like whatever. We
Yeah.
like to have a good time, and
Yeah.
we try to have a good time.
Yeah.
And we're not. I don't think we're crazy by rock and roll standards, but we have a good time. We
Yeah.
laugh a lot,
So
and
am
that's
I
all I
right
care about.
Am I right in saying this is the end of the vicious cycle now? We're on,
Oh,
we're on, the,
God.
we're on the home straight.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, no, we have this
I
tour.
like what you did there. That was good.
We-
The
you
end
know,
of the vicious cycle.
Yes.
Not by a long shot.
No, we have this tour, which is like a week long left. We're doing Godsmack, and then we go over to Europe and headline, and then like Japan, Australia,
Yeah.
Malaysia, just travel chaos till about Christmas, and
About
then
Christmas, and then
the
yeah.
vicious cycle is over.
Yes. And then we start on a whole new cycle.
So, if I was to ask over the course of this sort of 18 months or so on this run, what's been the biggest change in Halestorm?
I want to say our fan base has gotten not only more tight knit with each other, like there's just this amazing like community that I happen to just kind of be like popping my head in every once in a while. You guys cool? All right, good. But also just diverse. I feel like, don't you think? Is that I
Yeah,
would say
no,
over this
it's-
cycle, this one was for the fans.
Well, that and like it seems like a lot more girls are coming out, which is
Yeah.
awesome. Like
Specifically girls. Yeah.
like it's neat at hard rock shows to see chicks just rocking their asses off. It's awesome.
Yeah, all you guys out there, you want to you want to meet a crazy chick? Come to a Halestorm show.
There's two ways that I look at that.
We'll find a match for you.
Yeah, that's it. Cupid.
Yeah, we're playing.
There's two ways that I kind of look at that. One is that feels very encourageable because you've been out with In This Moment and New Year's Day, and it feels like there's been a concerted effort on that front, on this
Absolutely. Well, you know what? It's funny. When we first decided, the three of us girls, to do a tour together, it was more out of just like, hey, man, we never get to see each other. Let's
Right.
do this so we can hang out. And then we didn't realize how important it was, not just for us, to have that camaraderie on tour and like to really display that, because we all kind of have that same mission statement, and we've always been kind of pushing forward and trying to encourage young girls that like, hey, look, if we can do it, so can you. And I didn't realize how it almost created this amazing like movement just within our circle and the three of our fan bases, and it's been pretty amazing to watch.
shows.
Yeah.
So what are the best qualities of Maria and Ash?
Oh,
If this was a round,
Wow.
table discussion.
well, Ash Costello is up for anything, so which is awesome. We just let that run wild. And then
supposed to mean.
Maria, no matter where you see her because she kind of pops up around the day. She's kind of magical, so she'll like pop up every now and then. And every time that you see her, she has got something beautiful to say to you. Like she's been waiting to like say this poetry to you. So yeah, I don't know. It's just such a great vibe, and it's like. It's great because all of us swap stories about like just beginning as a band and all the things that we've kind of had to, kind of all the hurdles and all the ups and the downs. And it's neat to be able to have those conversations with each other when like really, we've all been like just kind of doing our thing for years. And so it's nice to be able to relate, I guess. Yeah.
And the other way that I kind of see that is you use your social media to really speak to people.
Oh yeah.
It's such a bizarre dichotomy using social media because there's a lot of bands out there that is very much we're in this town.
Yeah.
See you there.
See you there.
And there's your way, which you're out there championing Greta Thunberg and all these kind of things. Like, do you feel like there's been a sort of a stronger bond between you and a potential more female audience going off of what you've been saying and what's coming out?
Absolutely. I always kind of said when I was a kid that if I ever got to a point where people were listening, for better or worse, by the way, because I'm not always going to say the right thing, that I would make sure that I am my absolute authentic self to everyone. And so if that means that maybe I get passionate about one thing or the other, I want to promote, and empower and encourage young women and just the things that I believe in or the things that I feel strongly about, that I'm going to put that out there. And because I don't know, you could say like life is too short or you're in a great position, maybe you have a responsibility, but really it's just I love that connection with people, and music has brought this amazing, not just genre and like, hey, we're rocking out and we're making noise, because that's awesome too, but it's this broader sense of like, wow, like we can connect with each other and we have this like family, even though we never grew up with each other, and we're everybody's a different age, but we all connect through this music. And so why not kind of like stand shoulder to shoulder and talk about things that we're passionate about.
And it feels like like having worked in the media my whole life, like so many people are too guarded. Like it feels like I hate not every band has to have something to say. That doesn't have to be the bottom
absolutely
line.
Not.
But at the same time, I do miss people that actually step out of their shell and are willing to speak out on things.
Well, we grew up on bands that was the idea, and the fact that, hey man, like I'm a real person, I'm a dork from Pennsylvania, and I had all these ideas growing up but never like had the medium, and now that you have the medium, it's like, why not spread that out there? And we grew up on bands that did the same thing. They talked about in their songs the things that they believed in. They challenged people politically, and they did all of these things with their music. And I don't know, I think that music still holds a very important part in all of that, and culturally, and
a public figure, like I mean, you more so than anyone else in this thing. It's good to have an opinion. It's nice to hear.
Yeah.
People look up to for things, something, and I don't know. It's
and it means Halestorm kind of like stand for more than just being another rock band.
Oh yeah. Well, it's funny. I almost expected, because you have to cross your own line when you decide that. You're like, okay, I know I want to be nice to everybody, and we have this diverse fan base and everything. And so when you make that line of like, no, it's really important for me, and my soul to be able to like use my life and this amazing gift that I've been given for good and to stand up for what I believe in. And the thing I didn't expect was so many like love letters from parents, and right, because you would have thought that like maybe you would have gotten the wrong way, like, oh, you're standing up for something that like I don't want, whatever.
Shut up and play music.
Shut up and play music, that kind of stuff. And it's just been amazing. Like and in meet and greets too. Like the other day, I had this man, he's a dad, and he brought his kid to the meet and greet, and he hugged me and he like cried in my shoulder, and he said, my little girl suffers from depression, and you gave her this thing and all these ideas that she has, and she's like, well, if Lzzy can stand up for what she believes and not care what anybody thinks, and so can I.
That's
so
amazing.
She's going, and it made me like misty in the meet and greet, because I'm like, this is amazing, and something that I was not expecting just from being myself. So yeah, it's always error on the side of honesty.
Well, Always.
It works.
And so there has been murmurings in the press that you've begun writing for a next record.
Always.
Do you feel? Oh, so you're a band that write on the road,
pretty much.
Right. So, do you think that Halestorm's definitive statement is still to come?
I think so.
I hope so.
Yeah. Honestly, it's funny. Our goal as a band, I don't necessarily think that there's ever really we always thought there would be. We thought there would be like a line, like okay, like okay, there's going to be a point in time where we're like, all right, we did the Black Album, whatever. But I honestly think that we're always chasing whatever's next, and it's like we make a record and you're like, okay, it's going to be the next one. And then we're going to make this one and be like, okay, it's going to be the next one. I just think that as long as we keep trying to top ourselves, at least.
Our motto is like to get better always, like let each live show, we talk about every show after we play it, like, well, we could have done this a little better. And,
right.
And, just try to get better always. And same with records. And, always focus in just a little bit more and try to, I don't know what it is you're going for, whatever the closest.
I liken it to just kind of like you're peeling back these layers and you're peeling back this onion, and it's a combination of all these things where it's like you're more comfortable now, like as far as like lyrically, like speaking my mind and doing, singing things that I really feel passionately about. And then musically, we're getting better every day, and we're touring a lot, and we change up the set every day just so we can keep our chops up and and just kind of harness that, oh gosh, it's just the four of us. So we don't do tracks or trickery. So it's one of those things where it's like, hopefully by the time we do every single record, we're a little better and always more, never less. Right?
Is there any way that as the material's starting to shape that you feel like you're starting to challenge yourself?
Yes, absolutely. We've just had that conversation. Him and we'll stay up till like 4 a.m. and talk about this stuff and solve all the world's problems through music. And
music and tequila.
Music and yes, that's true.
The best combo.
Yes, all the world's problems we solved. But no, we were just talking about that, about how just laser focusing in and trying to improve and I don't know.
Yeah, really just start like categorizing. Like we write so much, she writes so much, and I have this bank of all the stuff that I write, and things come together in all these different ways, and maybe they're not all the next Halestorm record, but it's you start putting it down because there's something there like, oh, that feels good enough, I'm gonna go for it. And I think there's room for it all, especially the way music seems to be going, where people are just putting stuff out constantly, and it's not so genre specific anymore. It's more about the person and the artist, which it really maybe always has been, but it feels like genres are becoming less of a thing, and more people from all over are tuning into different areas. And
it's about what gets you excited, and the definitive, there's a rock and roll attitude to what we do, and just, keep on keeping on.
I love hearing that about people experimenting and things like that, because we've heard what is right for Halestorm because it ends up on the record. What have you tried that people might not expect? I'm not expecting to see Lzzy here or anything, but like, what have you tried that is outside of the box?
What's your rap name?
That usually ends up on my side, because like I write every day, and I love experimenting with things that maybe just get me right outside my comfort zone. Yeah. So yes, I have had, I have like, probably an album's worth full of just like synth, like kind of crazy, like almost like 90s trap pop, but also punk stuff. Right. And then I have another category that's like, if I was Chrissy Hine, and then there's another. It's like, and then there's piano ballads like for days.
Pure Cheese,
Volume 1. Yeah, that's exactly. Awesome. It's like going full Bryan Adams, and and then there's the other side of it where like sometimes I'll get like super like kind of very like dark 9 Inch Nails as well. So it's like. There's all the things, but only a couple of those like end up kind of, and sometimes you'll have something that's really good. Like for instance, our song "Do Not Disturb" started out as one of those kind of synth. It was like synth based and like a very kind of like
90s
strange,
Madonna.
Almost 90s Madonna, but like if Britney Spears had a rock voice, I don't know, something like that. And so I did it just for myself because I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
And then Josh, our bass player, like, had this bass line. He's like, oh, we should record this. I'm like, we're not recording this. We're not recording Do Not Disturb. This is just weird. We're not going to do it. And finally, it's like just everybody's like,
song,
no, it's a
let's
good
do it.
song.
Yeah.
We should put it on the record. So we ended up evolving it out of that infant stage into, okay, how
Before you know it, there's a music
but
video.
before you know it, there's a music video and now it's on the record. So yeah.
So I guess I have to ask as well, when you were talking about over the years becoming more comfortable with things, sexuality is a really big part of Halestorm Records.
Oh yeah.
Is there any trepidation with that? Because it's such a, like, bands from our scene don't really do it much anymore. You hear it.
It's true.
You hear it in contemporary pop. You hear it in rap. You hear it in most other places. But where it was such a fixture of rock and metal once upon a time,
absolutely,
it becomes something that's a bit more restrained, and yet not in Halestorm's world.
That's absolutely not in our world. Yeah, no. For some reason, my guys trust me with words.
Right.
So
You're
good
the
on
one
you.
who has to sing it.
Good on you. Yeah, but for me, I mean, I guess call me like old-fashioned in the world of rock, but I grew up on all those bands and grew up on sex was very much, something you sang about in rock, and it was still shocking, and I guess now, especially considering I'm a girl, and by me being so incredibly comfortable and candid about a lot of those things, does end up, taking a couple people, like, oh, you buy a little bit of a surprise there.
Some
but
folks can't handle when they ask about Do Not Disturb, and then they get like totally.
They get very red about it. But they ask, so I'm like, oh sure, I'll talk.
Up in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'll talk about anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That's another thing. Like going back to I've gotten letters from parents being like, I hope that when my daughters are your age, they're going to feel as comfortable talking about what they want and the things that they like and things that they enjoy as much as you are. So so to me, it's for whatever reason. Whatever hesitancy that maybe I could have had in the beginning before I decided to take that leap of like, no, I'm just going to talk about whatever I want, regardless, is kind of gone now. And I feel almost more of a responsibility to be more authentic with each record because of that response too. So.
And it feels almost like through the 80s, anything that could be said with a dick has already been said.
True.
So, like,
true. But
coming from the...
there's a whole new world
Yeah,
to be explored. A whole new. Let's not bring Disney into this.
So,
but
especially not at this point.
No, not at this point.
Although-
Speaking of,
So who's your favourite Disney princess?
Yeah, no, right. On to the next question.
Feels like the
It feels
only
right.
person
It feels right. Yes.
No, I'm dead serious. I'm actually asking both of you.
Growing up, okay, so actually, funny, no one's ever actually asked me that before.
Yeah.
But growing up, so my parents got me this, I think I was like 8 or 9, and they got me this Disney Halloween, speaking of, now times where we are right now.
Tis the season.
Yeah, 'tis the season, but this Disney Halloween VHS of like all these like the villain scenes and all of that. And this was the first time I ever heard Pat Benatar's "You Better Run."
No way.
It was the scene where Snow White is running through the woods. She gets lost in the woods and all the trees are scaring her and everything. And they're doing Pat Benatar. I'm like, so I knew that song from like from like my Sesame Street days. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it was always Snow White for me because of that.
I'm not letting you off.
What's
Ben.
your
I'm not
What's
letting
your
you off.
Disney
You can
princess?
hide. He's almost hiding off camera here.
Yes.
well,
Was it? Did you like? Do you fancy mermaids or?
I think I got a mermaid thing.
You got a mermaid thing?
From deep when I was a kid. I remember going to see Little Mermaid in the theater. I don't know if I have like a favorite Disney scenario, but Aladdin was great. I remember going there. I remember I had a birthday party, go, to the theater with your friends.
Yeah.
So Jasmine.
So yeah, probably let's go with Jasmine.
Yeah.
Why
I'll go
not?
with Jasmine.
Yeah.
God, this got weird.
Good outfit.
Beez on the WhatCulture Rock Show. We're here with Halestorm. Pleasure to have you as always. Great
Love
to
you
catch
so
up.
much, man.
Cheers,
Seriously.
mate.
Appreciate it, Beez.